What you see is an anatomically correct acrylic see-through human head, and into that is inserted a standard 8mm endotracheal tube and connected to a standard closed suction system. The suction that you hear in the background is at 180 millimeters of mercury, which is on the high side but clearly within the limits for closed suction. Also, the head is inclined at approximately 30 degrees, which is the recommended inclination for closed suction or the endOclear procedure. First, I'm going to make a pass into the endotracheal tube with the closed suction system. The substance inside the endotracheal tube is tenacious and made to mimic the secretions that are in the endotracheal tube in the human, and if anything, these secretions are more easily removed than those in vivo. First, I'm going to insert the closed suction catheter into the endotracheal tube up to the markings that correspond to the markings on the outside of the endotracheal tube. Next, I'm going to open the suction system and pull the catheter back. What this does is empty some of the secretions within the tube, but as you see, certainly not completely. Additionally, the secretions that are within the tube are mobilized by the suction catheter and may be prone to go back down into the lungs with the next ventilatory cycle. We'll now perform another pass with the closed suction catheter. Once again, we see that after 2 passes, we've been able to get some additional, very thin, easily removed material, but there is still some within the endotracheal tube. Unlike in the see-through acrylic head model, once we've done 1, 2, or more passes with the suction catheter, we are unable to see what is remaining within the endotracheal tube if the tube is in the patient. To clean the tube with endOclear, we first insert the BCA adapter between the endotracheal tube and the ventilator circuit. Prior to inserting the device, we have to set the depth of insertion safety stop, and that's done by putting the centimeter markings on the device next to those on the endotracheal tube, and then moving the blue stop to the most proximal point of insertion at the BCA adapter. A small amount of surgical lubricant is placed on the tip of the endOclear device. Next, the endOclear device is inserted into the BCA adapter. The endOclear device is then inserted into the endotracheal tube. You see it passing through the secretions, and it's placed up to the blue stop. Once the device is positioned according to the depth marker, the safety toggle is released, which allows us to deploy the cleaning member. The non-operative hand is placed securely at the patient's mouth and holding the tube. The device is then fired and withdrawn. I am doing it much more slowly than we do it in patients in order to point out the amount of residual secretions that are left after 2 passes with a suction catheter. As we look at this, according to the markings on the endotracheal tube, this is approximately 2 to 2.5 cc's of residual secretions and debris following standard of care closed suctioning. Okay. We then withdraw into the BCA adapter. The adapter is removed from the circuit and the ventilator once again hooked to the endotracheal tube. The residual biofilm and secretions that were removed can be seen in the BCA adapter. The adapter and endOclear device can be disposed of, as is policy for hazardous material, or the secretions within the BCA can be sent to the lab for gram stain and culture.